What's up, Lions fans? Welcome to Season 1, Episode 35 of the Lions Main Podcast. On this episode, we recap becoming Kings of the North, and the Lions don't play this week, so we talk all things NFL, Black Monday, and the playoff outlook. As always, thank you for your support, and you can find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Lions Main Podcast.
This is the Lions Main Podcast.
George! What the fuck was Aaron Glenn doing on Sunday?
Chilling.
What the fuck was he doing?
Chilling on the bench, bro.
Wizardry? Bro was in his bag. I mean, if there was ever a game to bring it out, it was that game. Our defense was looking a little shoddy some of the weeks leading up to it, but, bro, we look like the best defense in the league. What the hell? Is Amik Robertson playing outside? Is that the fucking answer? Does that change the entire defense?
He plays better on the outside. It always has.
Hey, they tried to bury him. You can't bury what comes from the dirt.
All-time bar, bro. I mean, he's challenging Dan Campbell for all-time one-liners right there. So, dude, hell of a performance. I think the saddest part, dude, Aaron Glenn, they're already saying that he's going to be the Saints' next head coach.
Oh, I think Jets, man. I want to be the first to report that he's the next Jets head coach.
I think that so he's did he play for the Saints? I know he coached at the Saints.
He played for the Jets.
Played for the Jets, okay, but he previously coached at the Saints with Coach Campbell. But so I don't know. I've seen reports all around. I think there's probably going to be 8 separate teams that are interviewing him for the head coaching position. But dude, hell of a performance. George, you ever seen a defense play that good? Against a 14-2 team, against a team this good? Of course we played that good against the Titans, but like a team like this?
I mean, listen, the defense has been good for a lot of the season, and it wasn't us creating the narrative that they were bad all season. Right. I mean, yeah, they were injured, but it's like we've been saying this all season. Like, I mean, it's the chip on the shoulder we needed. Everybody was doubting us before the game, which honestly then creates doubts in the fans. Like, because if the whole national media is they're doing I don't know, the Vikings, they look great. They're looking really good. Sam Darnold's hot. And that Lions defense is questionable. That was like the narrative going into the game. And a lot of people were counting us out. We didn't. I know we coerced Drew into saying the Vikings were going to win, but he's always
ready. Not this game. Not this game. That was
you were convinced.
Matchup. That was the first Vikings matchup. Don't come at me like that.
Whatever. No, but it was a very serious game with very serious implications with the playoffs. And what do we say? All roads lead through Detroit, and that's what's about to happen.
Which is back to back division champs, Kings of the North, first one seed in Lions history.
Dude, one of my shitty Packers fans, he's always like, I don't talk to people who never won anything before. Like, bro, we won the NFC North twice. Because he's a piece of shit fan in person, is like, we don't care about that. We don't care about the NFC North. Buddy, you're never going to win that. You're not going to win the NFC North for the next 10 years. So keep that same fucking energy 10 years when you're fucking bald and 42 years old like me. So,
hey, that's all they can say. I mean, right now, they're also in the playoffs. So all don't lie. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, and we'll talk about some of those matchups a little bit later on, but this game specifically, man, what stuck out most to you? What was like the defining moment in this game when let's start with you, Drew, when you knew, oh, we got this in the bag?
I don't know about a defining moment per se, but I feel like going into the playoffs, we couldn't have asked for like a better game from the Lions, just because I think, if this had been a shootout, kind of how we had predicted, high scoring, where, we just kind of snuck by, a touchdown is like high 40s.
Right.
I think that I would still have a lot more nerves just about this defense. Like, the last few weeks have been brutal as far as like watching our defense not be able to stop anybody. And that is a good Vikings offense, and we made them look like pussies, and I mean, I was ecstatic. I guess if I were to choose, it would probably be that first 4th and goal stop where it kind of felt like KOC Kevin O'Connell was like tried to play a little bit of the Dan Campbell game and like felt like he had to score a lot of points to keep up with the offense. The thing was, our offense wasn't even playing that well, especially in the first half.
No.
And for the defense to step up like that, not once, not twice, but 3 times on the goal line.
Right.
That's what we've been looking for.
Do you think this was the most prime example, or maybe the first time we've truly saw that Dan Campbell outcoached another coach? Do you think like this is the most shining example of that? You really make a coach get out of his fucking element. I think they were like, go ahead.
I do think going into the game, Kevin O'Connell was my pick for Coach of the Year, and I thought
You're right about this guy, George. You're right about this guy.
No, I mean he's like a QB whisperer. I mean,
right, give respect.
Look how good he's made Sam Darnold look, and up until week 18, and so I do think that he outcoached a really good coach.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it's the first time we've ever seen that. But I think I don't know about the betting odds or anything like that. But DC's got to be like, I don't know, is he front runner for Coach of the Year now?
There's a few people. I think I haven't seen any adjustments since Kevin O'Connell was listed as like the number 1 guy, but it's like him and 3 others, including Dan Campbell, that are in that little race. So front runner, I don't know. I feel like Dan Campbell just doesn't get the respect that he deserves. I think people
never
still think
does.
He's like a buffoon or something. Yeah, like a barbarian or something.
They've been giving a lot of credit to, which is like deserved at the same time, the coordinators. And like people forget, like this is Dan Campbell built this team. He's like changed the culture, which is huge, to like get people to actually buy into something. You know, a lot of people think it's just bullshit and coach talk, all that nonsense. And I don't know, that takes a lot. And also like teams, when they come and they play the Lions, they know that they're getting like somebody, they're going to play hard as fuck.
Yeah.
They play hard as fuck. Like going on 4th down, that's like, all right, this is a silly example, but like when you're playing Madden and like, and your buddy, and all of a sudden like it's 4th down, he should be punting and they're not. You're like, you play like that? Like you don't actually punt in Madden? And you look at them and you say, fuck no. Like, what the hell? Like, it's an extra play and this is a game. And it's like, and you believe in yourself at the same time. So like it's like playing that type of guy in Madden. You're like, oh shit, the game's not over. You know, he needs some credit for that specifically.
Well, you're spot on, George. And we made a joke about, you know, Amik Robertson's bar about like being counted out and the Lions giving him a shot, and you know Dan Campbell giving him a shot, and like there's that. I mean, there's numerous examples. Anzalone, like I don't know if you guys saw the picture where his arm is like I think he posted a picture with like the star all the way up his forearm. Like, and he's hard. It's the dude is like, these guys literally do anything for Dan Campbell, and that I don't know. That's the fucking rare thing.
Do you have the exact quote? Because it was badass. What did he say?
Yeah, no, it said, everybody wants to be it's funny because it was on Fox Sports. Like, they posted the picture, and they still had his quote on the bottom, and it said, everybody wants to be a dog until it's time to do dog shit. It's just
God.
Hard, but like all over Nat. Probably, I don't know what the viewership was, but there had to be tens of millions of people watching that game around the world. So
Sunday Night Football,
right? Last game of the year for the number 1 seed, for the division, for the conference, for all that shit. So dog shit, baby.
Home field advantage. We got literally home field advantage throughout this entire playoffs. Like all roads, you know, run through Detroit. It's exactly what he like prophesized at the beginning of the season. Like this is step 1. And you heard, I don't know if you listened to Goff's post game presser, but he's like the attitude seems to be like this is just step 1. Like it was our goal as step one.
Yep, like this was cool and all, but we got 3 more wins to go through.
But man, like sitting here back to back North champs, and it's like we're 15-2, and this is not like like we played a bunch of scrubs and got 15 wins against a bunch of scrubs. We played in the hardest division in the NFL this year.
Right. The most winning division of all time.
We faced more adversity, it feels like, than any other NFL team, especially any other,
defensively,
team that's made the playoffs. I mean, we lost our, a lot of key players, including arguably our best player.
We played a lot of teams. This season was difficult, like team-wise. Like we played a lot of teams that were in the playoffs last year. And a lot of them didn't turn out the same way this year, like the Cowboys. But I don't think the Cowboys are pure ass.
No, they're not as bad as their record. They're the team that has like a shitty morale.
Right. Have, like, they're ass for reasons, but like they're not true ass. And like Bucks were good. Like they obviously they beat us.
Look,
and
they're the 3 seed.
Right. And do I think we could win that game? And I think we could win that game handily in ways, but I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. Maybe I'm just getting a little cocky.
What are you trying to say, Drew? Go ahead.
Well, I just want to take a step back and just talk about, you mentioned the culture and how many other teams would have the losses like from injuries that we had and like not or feel like they skipped a beat. Like what I'm trying to say is like we lost all these key players and it felt like we had guys step up. Like and the Amik thing is like is like the quintessential example of that culture where it's like going to the game, none of us talked about him, and he shut down the best wide receiver in the NFL. And it was I don't know if you guys caught this, but like the history between Amik and Justin Jefferson, like dating back to high school, where they're going up against each other at camps, and then obviously Justin Jefferson went to LSU, had this great career, and under recruited Amik went to Louisiana Tech, and so
like, Cajuns,
like right down, same state, right down the road, and so for him to come out and have that performance, and I think Vikings fans are gonna say like, Darnold played his worst game, which there's some validity on some of the throws, but Amik locked him up. I remember that one play specifically in the end zone where
he could have picked it.
Should have picked it, but like was the footwork he had guarding one of the best route runners in the NFL was amazing. And that's like wasn't even a week one like starter. He's kind of like depth.
Yeah. I think at the very beginning of the season, if I asked you guys, who do you think is going to be our like most important free agent signing? And I think it's either you or Jim Drew said Carlton Davis for like obvious reasons, like we were lacking obviously a veteran corner after Sutton left. And I can't remember if my answer was either Amik Robertson or Zeitler, but I remember us also bringing up those two guys' names. And so Zeitler's been phenomenal, but Amik Robertson, what he has done in the absence of all the other corners, and it words can't explain how well he's done, and he deserves. Did we sign him to a 1 year or 2 year contract? I believe it's just a 1 year, like prove it deal.
Well, I thought it was multi-year.
Whatever the case being, he deserves his next contract, especially to stay in Detroit if we can make that possible. Because you talk about somebody who comes from the mud mentality, right? Like he's not this like some of these corners are prima donnas. Some of these corners act just like receivers. This dude is like he goes out there, he works hard every single play, and that's exactly what we need to keep in Detroit. So shout out to that dude, and I think this is actually a perfect time to talk about our game balls.
Well, yeah, I think just to it's a 2 year $9 million deal. So
2 years.
Got him locked up through next year, but
next year. And then next year he's probably going to be looking for Carlton's on the 1 year, and then next year he's probably going to be looking for a deal. 4 games into the next season. So I hope that's on our radars moving forward. But perfect segue into our game balls, and I think every listener, every viewer, every fan every football fan who watched that game will agree with all of us that Amik Robertson is going to be the first recipient of our game ball. Drew, do you have the stats up?
I don't. I was.
So I got the stats really quickly, just real quick. Justin Jefferson had 3 catches for 54 yards. Has that ever happened?
Not against the Lions.
I don't know if not against the Lions.
He's got like the most yards against us in like for a franchise. I don't know what the stat is. It's not good for us.
Yeah, most yards per game against a single franchise with like playing, a minimum of like 6 games.
Yeah, so whatever it is.
Bro, he's been going moss on us.
I will say that stat is a little misleading because he is leading the NFL. He's the leader in NFL history for yards per game.
Right.
Second is Campbell Johnson. That's why I remember the stat. But so, all I have to say, Jay Jett is fucking good.
Yeah.
Right.
And he owns the line. Like, let's say his yards per game is more than any other.
Yeah.
His Lions one is like 20 yards more on average. So you haven't seen him before. Lock him down. Game ball from the mud. Need that energy. Keep him around. Next game ball, George. Do you have somebody you wanted to go ahead and?
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Alex Anzalone. Dog shit. 7 tackles, 3 solos, and the fucking arm.
Yeah. And something that you talk about like a morale, talk about like who we identify as like a team, as like a whole. You cannot discount kind of like his energy and the way he plays. The hair flowing out the back. Van Ginkel looked like a Walmart brand Anzalone out there. But you can't take that away from him. I mean, he truly is like we have a few different captains on the defense, but he truly is the captain of the defense. So to have him back, and obviously the effect with the tackles and just flying around the field.
He's the only. I mean, Aiden's the only other defensive captain.
Right. Yeah.
So
right.
I think I totally underestimated how like going into this game. Like I knew it was going to be awesome to have him back, but I thought Jack Campbell has been playing super well in his absence. But yeah, no, having him back felt like the whole defense was jazzed up and like you said, he lifted the energy of the entire defense.
Right. We play a lot of man and he plays good as fuck, man. He's like great on coverage too. So
yeah, no, he's
great.
A solid linebacker, solid leader as well.
Florida boy. Florida Philly boy.
Florida Philly boy.
He's from Philly, went to Florida.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Well,
go ahead.
For my game ball, I want to take a quick trip down memory lane. A couple of years ago, Lions it was a night late in April, first round of the NFL draft. Lions had the 6th pick. They traded back to the 12th pick. A lot of
bad move.
A lot of people, and then everyone's like, "Oh, this is put him in perfect position to draft Christian Gonzalez." Whoever else was on the big board. Brad Holmes picks Jahmyr Gibbs.
Jahmyr
Gibbs. And the NFL world went nuts. What are they doing? Drafting a first round running back? Like, I think it was who else was there was another running back that Bijan. Everyone's like, oh, Bijan shouldn't have even gone like in the top 10. Now Jahmyr Gibbs going 12. Jahmyr Gibbs is a top 3 running back in the NFL.
Fact.
He scored 4 touchdowns. Well, let me give the stats real quick. 23 carries, 139 yards, 3 rushing touchdowns. That's 6 yards per carry. Added 5 receptions, 31 yards, another touchdown. 4 total touchdowns. Only one other Lions player has done that. Can you name him?
Billy Sims.
Jacob can.
The GOAT, Barry Sanders. This also put Gibbs as the top touchdown scorer in the NFL for the season.
19.
I mean, he's been electric. It feels like
George
nobody can guard him. George did win the bet. I owe him $100. If y'all remember, I bet George that Monty would have more touchdowns than Jahmyr Gibbs. They were on pace. They were neck and neck up until the injury.
$100. I thought it was top.
It would have neck you, Drew.
We'll do $100. We'll do $100. We'll do $100. We'll go easy on him.
No, yeah. I mean, is it Gibbs' best? I mean, I feel like it's his best game as a Lion.
This might be the worst year of the rest of his career. Like, his trajectory is just exponential. They're talking about Saquon breaking the record. Bro, I love Monty to death. He's holding Gibbs back, baby. Gibbs, go get 2,000, baby. Go get it. Go get it, dog. I don't know. I'm high on the kid. That's a great game ball.
I have a kind of fun, and maybe this is a little bit of a transition, but a little fun stat kind of relating to Gibbs is the top 6 rushing teams in the NFL this year made the playoffs. And 8 of the top 10 rushing teams are in the playoffs. So I think it's interesting to see like this shift in the it felt like for the last decade plus it's been all about spreading the offense out and like we've seen these hyperinflated passing yards and I don't know if it was like Brad Holmes reading the tea leaves with that draft pick a couple of years ago and like being like, oh, it's going to be super important to invest in the running game, but it seems like whoever's got the best running game, puts himself in a position to win a Super Bowl.
I got another stat. I got another stat for you though, just to combat you, make you think about it. Since the year 2000, the number 1 and number 2 rushing team in the NFL have not won the Super Bowl. Since the year 2000.
Say what?
I'm saying it's a shift. That's what I'm saying. It's a new NFL.
No, they've made the playoffs. They never won.
Who are
the number
teams?
1 rushing and the number 1 passing?
Who are the teams?
I'm saying it's 24. It's 24
is it like
years.
Is it like the Titans where they literally gave Derrick Henry the ball like
no over 24 years? So like tons of teams. The trend is they make the playoffs. They win the division, but they don't end up winning. But there could be a shift. There could be a shift.
Well, it's a good thing that we can pass the ball too.
What does that mean? That stat doesn't matter.
Listen though.
That is the wackest stat I've ever heard.
No.
It's a stat, but it doesn't matter.
Because the number 1 and number 2 are the Ravens and Eagles this year. The Lions are like number 5. So we're good.
Right.
I don't know what the fuck you're trying to say.
Right, I literally don't understand. You just gave us a stat that's supposed to give us doubt.
You're saying that whoever can rush the best is going to win, essentially. Whoever can run the ball the best is going to win. But I'm telling you, the number 1 and number 2 team who ran the ball most efficiently throughout the year do not win Super Bowl. We're like the number 5, so we have a chance.
Yeah, but that's also like only like 5 teams have won the Super Bowl. There's been the Patriots and the Chiefs, sprinkled in with like
a Steeler, a Packer, yeah, Joe Flacco,
Seattle. Yeah. Well, listen.
Hey, stats for stats, baby. I'm dishing them out.
What's the stat on 1 seeds going to the Super Bowl? I think it's like
55%.
8 out of 10 out of the last 10. 8 out of the 10. No, it's more than that. I think.
Well, at least you're saying at least one seed goes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's probably higher than 55.
But if you get the 1 seed, the stat is if you get the one seed, it's 55% chance to make the Super Bowl.
Right. And so right now, if you think about this, was a huge win. The NFC North, it was all the drama, this and that. It's huge, but it's like we play one more game, win. We're going to be playing the worst team that's left in the NFC. And, we're believers. We win, right? Then we're right back to where we were last year. That's how big this win was.
Yeah, okay. I would pump the brakes a little bit because you say like, okay, yes, in theory it's the worst team, but if everybody holds seed besides the Vikings, we play the Vikings, who are arguably the second best team in the NFC.
That's fine. And people say it's hard to beat a team, 3 times in a year.
Arguably the best team in the NFC. Listen to this guy.
I said the second best team. Second best team.
I'm just trying to give you shit.
They're 14-3. They got the second best record.
You've been defending the Vikings effortlessly.
I'm a Lions fan, man. I'm waiting
You're not ever
to
losing.
go fucking awry.
To go awry, you think?
Well, it's like my nature as a Lions fan to be afraid.
Well, you got to get rid of that. That's that same old Lions that's still etched in your blood. Listen, buddy, you're the NFC North champion.
We're trauma bonded, okay? We're all trauma bonded.
Yeah, what? Don't fucking gaslight me.
I'm not gaslighting you. Come on, we gotta look at what's in front of us.
I'm a believer, man. I'm like, I'm out. I'm here talking about how I've got more money bet on the Lions than you guys do.
Maybe
more than zero. Yeah.
So. Listen to this though. People say it's hard to beat a team 3 times, and I think I was talking with Jim, so credit to him. The team that's beaten them twice usually it statistically beats them more the 3rd time. So like people say it's hard to beat them 3 times. It's like statistically proves otherwise. So
right. We've beat the Packers like 7 of the last 8 times we played them. What the fuck are they talking about? We're beating the fuck out of these teams.
You just wanted to take some shots there.
If we played the Bears for today, we might beat them by 60 points. So fuck that stat. Stats are bullshit. At the end of this conversation, stats are bullshit.
Right.
So
yeah, Dan Campbell doesn't give a fuck about stats.
The fact that we have home field and George is going to be screaming, painted in blue, shirtless at those games. Now that right there is what's going to tip the scale. So
if that meant we won the Super Bowl, would I do that? That'd be humiliating.
I heard.
That's not my thing.
George, I heard you were the fan that was going after Blake Cashman's wife. Have you guys seen
What
this?
are you saying?
Yeah, she said that they were touching her and heckling her.
I heard that was you, George.
No video proof though.
She said
no face, no case.
She said mid-20s Italian man.
You're rotten. Your dog rotten.
Eat streets every Friday.
High 5. Third up. Oh, jeez.
Oh, buddy. I'll knock you down to 5'5".
Some Three Stooges.
No, are you disavow? That was not you. Can we get a public statement?
That was not me. Hell no, was that me? Public statement. There it is.
I mean, you were hanging around with the guy that took shots at Matt LaFleur. So I mean,
I do. Turns out I do know that guy. It's unbelievable. I've gone to a Lions game with him. I have only been to like 5 Lions games total in my life, and like the second one was with him.
Great. So for it's crazy. Just a few weeks back when we played the Packers, he had brought up the big flag. This guy was like holding the big flag.
He was holding a piece of the field-sized American flag.
Right, and he started heckling Matt LaFleur, and Matt LaFleur, all-time angry guy. I think we talked about it on the recap that game. George hangs around the riffraff of Detroit.
Just because George hangs around them, he likes them, he emulates all their behaviors, doesn't mean he is that way. Right?
Just because he walks like a duck and talks like a duck doesn't mean he's a duck.
Right.
Matt LaFleur is a pussy. I don't give a fuck. Fuck that.
Well,
I got no other comment on that.
In other news, Kelly Stafford was asked if she would come to the game if the Rams ended up playing Detroit. And she's like, I don't want to. I would, but I don't want to though. Like,
Rams are gonna lose.
George out there booing her kids. And honestly,
I will boo her kids this time. With that attitude, that sour attitude, no way. Gross. Boo.
Yeah.
Not my quarterback.
Let me think.
No longer. Long gone. Also, they're not gonna make it to Detroit.
Yeah,
let's be honest. I think the Vikings are coming back.
Let's get on that because you guys brought that up. Let's take a look at some of these playoff matchups and see potentially who we could actually match up with. And so I think the first matchup, the one that what's the first one? It's the Eagles versus Packers. That's going to be the first game in the NFC that we see.
It's not like sorry, you going in chronological. So the Saturday games, I think, is like Houston Chargers. So you're just going
NFC. We're going to talk NFC, like potential like matchups for the Lions. So we have Packers are going into Philadelphia. So we got 2 of the worst fan bases probably meeting up and going toe to toe. two of probably some of the most historic NFL teams, though. So, I mean, it's a cool little fun matchup. They were the first game of the year, right? In Brazil? Was that not the first NFL game this year?
I think you're right.
Maybe.
Which I think, yeah.
They played week 1 against one another. I don't know if it was the first game overall.
Honestly,
they played week
who
1.
won that?
What a terrible...
The Eagles, right?
The Eagles did.
Yeah. What a terrible draw for the Eagles, though. I mean, as far as getting a 2 seed, I wouldn't want to play the Packers.
The Packers?
Yeah.
I don't think they're good, but I'd much rather play the Commanders or any of the other NFC teams other
the
than
quarterbacks are beat to shit.
The only other option though is Commanders, fine. They beat up on the Commanders. The Commanders also beat them once, but Commanders probably be the best option for them. But would you rather play the Packers or Vikings? Those are the only 3 options.
I'd rather play the Packers, but I'm just saying, as far as how it shook out, I wouldn't be. I would play much. Yeah, I'd be much more happy playing playing the Commanders, or pretty much any of the other NFC teams other than the Vikings.
Yeah. That's just our playoff system is fucking a little weird, honestly. The NFL playoff system is just weird. You're gonna tell me that the Falcons on the last day of the season had a chance to be in the playoffs? Bro, make me the fucking 5 seed if they're the 4 seed. What the hell? That's a free win. That's a free stat booster. Anyways, fuck that. So, game 1, Packers, Eagles. George, you have any... Sorry, let's start with Drew. Drew, you have any immediate thoughts for that matchup?
Well, this is the sneaky thing. I think that the Packers can win, and that's why I said it, because all of the turmoil it seems like is going on with the Eagles. I mean, Jalen Hurts is still got a concussion. He's still in concussion protocol, and just bad vibes. That team has been bad vibes for the last year and a half. Ever since their collapse last year, I feel like they're bad vibes.
The Eagles?
Yeah. They're literally the most talented.
Saquon Barkley's about to break the rushing record. What are you talking about?
They didn't let him. He needed 100 yards.
They're making a team decision to because they want to make a run in the playoffs and keep people healthy.
All-time history.
This is
against his old team.
I know, but Super Bowls, that's a team player type move right there. I don't think it's bad vibes. I mean, I think the quarterback's hurt, and
I think he's whack.
Yeah.
I think he's what?
I think he's whack. I think he's a nutcase.
He might be, but I mean, he's got a good record, so it's hard to argue. They could just throw that in your face.
Because they're literally he took over a team that had won a Super Bowl
correct
2 years prior, and they are stacked. They're literally the most. If you look at I think we talked about this at the beginning of the season. The most amount of guys they have, literally the most amount of guys that you can name on their team. On both sides of the ball.
And you're telling me the Packers can beat them?
That's what I'm saying. That's because they're bad vibes. They're literally.
What's going on with the Packers quarterback situation?
Yeah, no. So Jordan Love, does have a sore elbow. It's been reported today. Limited in practice. Apparently, the Bears did us one last favor. Beat their ass and got Jordan Love.
No, that was huge.
Kane, you've got a history of sore elbow injuries, right? What can you tell us about that?
They hurt really bad. There's this thing called the funny bone, and when you hit it, it doesn't feel so funny.
How'd you get those? How'd you get those injuries?
The elbows?
Yeah. Sore elbow.
In UFC when you're throwing an elbow?
Oh.
Yeah, You gotta get down. You gotta get down every once in a while.
Am I missing a story? What the fuck happened to your elbows?
It's how George, how your knees are always hurting? That's how my elbows are always hurting.
You always got them bruises on your knees, George.
Oh yeah, those. I get it now.
Anyways. So
Jesus Christ.
I hear what you're saying, and the Packers have one way to win that game, and it's something that I think when they've done it, they've blown out teams. They beat teams they shouldn't have won against, and when they don't do this, they lose. They need to run the fucking ball and run it through Josh Jacobs. If they can establish a run game, just like if the Eagles can establish one on Saquon, the team who can be more effective running the ball, probably to your first point, Drew, that's who's going to win the game. But Jordan Love, man, if you put it in his hands, as good as he can be, I don't think you can rely on him and his sore elbows. Josh Jacobs, let him eat.
I guess that's what I'm saying. I don't trust either team. Like, I don't trust either team to be able to win this. And so I literally think that it's just an opportunity where we could see an upset.
Right. So you just view this one as like a coin flip, a true 50-50 like matchup. No, I think so as well. So if the Packers win, they're obviously coming to Detroit. Is that a matchup that you would want to see in Detroit? You think you take that over the other 3 options?
I'd love it. I want it. I want to send those bitches home crying.
3 times in a year?
That's
George.
George needs a Tums after I said that.
Yeah, feeling a little hot.
A little hot flashes.
I mean, what are we thinking here? You say Packers? Packers?
He's saying Packers, but I'm just asking, like, is that a matchup you'd want to see? Would you want to see the Packers come back to Detroit, George?
Yeah, fuck them. I mean,
got it.
We got to play any. The thing is, it's going to be one of these teams, and I'm looking at them all. Packers don't seem to be in a good position either, to be quite honest with you.
Right, and if the Packers can beat the Eagles, so we don't have to play them in the NFC Championship, even though I think we'll I think we're going to go to the Super Bowl and we're going to win. I think that's a favor to us. Like, thank you for doing that favor. Let's beat your ass now one time. You know,
I mean,
if
you look at teams that, like, you know, there's a slight against them, like ours would be, people say the defense. I mean, it looked good this last week, but that's what they've been saying. I don't know. The ones, there's ones for each team, I feel like, in the NFC when I look at them, and quarterback, if it's a quarterback, that's an issue. And I think both these teams have quarterback issues right now.
Yeah. No, I agree.
My dream scenario would be beat the Packers in divisional round, beat the Vikings in the NFC Championship, beat the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Boom.
That would be King of the North. King of the North becomes sits on the Iron Throne.
King of the North and Dynasty Killers.
All right, let's move on to the next one. So the next matchup is going to be the 3 versus the 6. So we got Buccaneers versus the Commanders. This is probably the matchup that I know the least about. George, you have any thoughts on this? You think we're going to be seeing Jaden Daniels in our divisional round, or what?
That would be crazy if we did. I mean, he's a rookie, so you gotta hope he just fucks up somehow. Like, that's what. That's right. Their slight. Like, they've
the
been
rookie
good.
Moment.
They've played good against good teams too. Some of them. People were saying they're playing against bad teams. It's like, this is the NFL. Come on, get real. And I mean, didn't they beat the Eagles?
I think they beat the Eagles once, yeah.
That was the one that gave us the lead right after our game with the Bears. Oh, great day.
Yep.
And so, I don't know. I think Baker's going to beat their ass, though.
You think so?
I think Baker's going to beat their ass.
You think so?
Dude, he's got
moxie, man.
Pro Bowl snub, Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, he does well with a chip on his shoulder. He's a good player. I mean, there's no getting around it. Everybody likes watching him play because he's like the lay it all on the line type Campbell type player. I think when I watch him play, like, you see it laid out on the line. You see him in college. He was sick. I don't know. I root for him. We were watching him in college.
Yeah.
Going from a walk on to this, sweet.
He has the mojo or the moxie or whatever the fuck you want to call it. He's got it.
This is 100%. This game is 100% the one I'm looking forward to the most. I think because it's neither team has a defense, and so I think it's gonna be crazy high scoring, and it'll be really fun to see. Like, you know, the playoffs are where superstars are born, and so it'll be fun to see if Jaden Daniels, like, obviously he's probably gonna win Rookie of the Year. He's
maybe
looking like a franchise quarterback.
He definitely is.
Been, honestly, surpassed everybody's expectations. And we'll see if he can do it in the playoffs.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. I think I remember week 7. In one of my moments of weakness, I was like, I might be a little afraid of Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. And I'm not afraid of them. I'll come on and say it. They don't have a defense. We could push the defense around all day long. But Jaden Daniels is so smooth, man. So smooth, running the ball, throwing the ball. I'm not trying to be on this man's dick like that, but like, he is.
Sunday
he's
news
good
now, bro. Come on.
Yeah, Hey, pass me the knee pads, George. Anyways, dude, he's fucking good, and so it'll be fucking awesome if he could go out there and get this like I've arrived moment and come into Detroit and then get his we got beat 40-3. Let's go back to the drawing board moment. That would be I think that'd be like the perfect situation for us. I would rather honestly between the Packers and Commanders. For myself, I think I'd rather see the Commanders. Just because it'd be cool to beat the Packers 3 times, but I really think we could I don't think we beat the fuck out of the Packers. I think we could beat the fuck out of the Commanders. Per se, right?
Right.
I think we beat the Packers. It looks like the other games almost. We win like 30-24. Something like that, you know? We beat the Commanders like 34-17, 34-13, something along those lines. So, now, man, I'm looking forward to that matchup as well. Let's move on to the last matchup, the one where the 4 seed is probably like the underdog in relation to the 5.
For sure.
So the Vikings versus the Rams. Drew, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I think the Rams have been playing like dog shit last couple weeks. I don't think Stafford has thrown a touchdown in like 4 games or something like that. They've been like in these super low scoring games. I think they won like 12-9, and I don't want to discount McVay in the playoffs, but I think that the thing though about this game, I'd love to see just from the narrative standpoint, because I hate Vikings fans, is like I would love the narrative. They lost this game. The Vikings lost this game to the Rams somehow. I don't see it happening, but they somehow did. We just got to call them frauds for a whole another year, like, and just continue that narrative. I'd love that. But I think Vikings are going to go to LA and handle business.
I mean, we talk about this. We talk about.
I don't think it's going to be close. I think Vikings are going to blow them out.
We talk about the Vikings having a phenomenal season, 14-3. Like, let's give them their flowers. They lost to the Lions twice, and they lost to the Rams.
Oh,
the Rams.
All right.
30-20, the Rams. It was one of those. I think this was the point in the season when the Rams were like 1-4, and then they won like 8 games after that straight. It was the first game that Cooper Kupp and Puka Nacua were back, both healthy.
It was like Monday night or Sunday night football.
Yeah, Monday night, and they went out there and handled business. So, and it was in LA. 2 great coaches. So I know the Vikings are favorites. I might, if I'm a betting man, I might throw a little money on the Rams. Matt Stafford, dog. You kind of don't talk to me about Stafford. Don't talk to me about Stafford.
Sam Darnold's got a lot of pressure on this game too. Like I think going into the Lions matchup last week, he's like guaranteed to get re-signed. He just made himself like a couple $100 million, and he goes and puts a stinker up against the Lions. And so I think everybody, which was basically a playoff game, playoff atmosphere. And I think if he goes out and has another stinker and they lose this game, he goes back to being a backup. Like, I think that is literally what's run. Like, maybe some BS team signs him, or maybe the Vikings franchise tag him, but I think he goes right back to where they found him at the beginning of the season.
The Vikings fans are already putting up, like, talking about JJ McCarthy in their Reddit. They're already like, hey, so he looked good on the sideline. He looked horrible on the sideline. As a Michigan fan, he looked like he had hospice. Like, he looked horrible on the sideline. Like, and they're already like talking about, potentially like Darnold might not be that guy. So, yeah.
Vikings man never happy with a good quarterback. Like just a solid quarterback, just never happy.
I mean, that's just like, come on,
coaching here.
We're all the same. That's like some Lions fans have been calling for Hendon Hooker at times in the season.
Woodward Sports.
Right. Posting pictures of him.
No. Give me Teddy. All-time vibes, guys.
No.
I heard a theory about Teddy from my cousin-in-law, and it's an interesting one. No. Why Teddy's coming back specifically?
What's going on?
That he's like trying to become a coach, like a straight-up coach in general. and he wants that's why he did what he did with his team,
Right.
and he wants to be under Ben Johnson again. I don't know. I've heard something about that, and I was like, if that's true,
that sounds smart.
Well, that's awesome, dude. Because then, if Ben Johnson leaves, I've been wondering. I was like, well, Jared Goff should know a lot.
Listen.
He would not get elevated all the way to OC.
No.
He could be QB's
quarterback coach.
Right.
Quarterback
coach, yes. Or any of the offensive positional coaches, whatever. He could be any of those.
But I want as many guys studying under that and preparing for the next OC as possible, dude. Because if Ben Johnson leaves, what the fuck are we gonna do?
Imagine
OC wise.
George, stop.
OC wise, though.
Listen. I'm gonna give you a hint. I'm gonna give you a little lesson on how the NFL works. So when you have a great coach like Bill Belichick or like Andy Reid, they talk about how many coordinators have served under this guy, right? So you look at all the head coaches today. There's 8 dudes who are under Andy Reid. You talk about the Andy Reid tree and vice versa, right?
Right.
Ben Johnson is just the first of many under the Dan Campbell tree. Teddy Bridgewater will be underneath the underneath that tree. Well, there's going to be a bunch of guys that come in and be underneath the Dan Campbell, Ben Johnson, Aaron Glenn tree. It's going to be a beautiful thing.
I don't know as much as Dan Campbell being the patriarchy of this massive coaching tree, as much it is Ben Johnson was let go by Miami.
Yes, Flores. Was he let go by Flores?
So I think he wasn't. Yeah, Flores had brought in his own.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Right. Kicked him out.
And I think to King's point, slightly different. I think it's his ability to go out and find the guy.
He's gonna go get the guy.
I don't know if Dan Campbell's gonna actually be teaching offensive scheme.
No,
doesn't seem like his forte, but
that's what I'm saying. Whatever this tree that you're saying, I want a little bit of the some pollination from Ben Johnson's tree.
It's going.
George doesn't like the tree. He just wants the bush.
It's going and finding the talent. Like Ben Johnson is himself, truly, and he probably found inspiration from a bunch of different guys, watching film, doing things, but that's his talent. Dan Campbell's going to go find when Aaron Glenn leaves, which is going to be probably expeditiously once we win the Super Bowl. He's going to go get a defensive coordinator, a young guy, budding guy who has similar mind, who he can work with, and that's Dan Campbell's superpower, bro. He's the guy that you want to work for, that you want to that you love, that you want to. Bro, my legs broke. Put me back in, coach. Put me back in. We got a bowl to win, dog. Monty, fuck this MCL. Let's go.
I hear you. So, okay, I like that. That's optimistic as far as, who we're going to choose and everything. And
you got me stiff right now, bro.
It don't matter if it's coal or diamonds, brother. We stay hard. We rock hard.
Ultimately, I didn't want that to get confused that I'm scared for the future. I just would like a future that, if it's taught a little bit by Ben Johnson, I like that. I like a little bit of that knowledge because he's obviously been calling some sweet plays.
Right. I got you. No, I got you. I
mean, if having my way, I'd keep him. I'd love for him to stay. I don't give a fuck what
we can't get rid
talk
of
about
both.
the imaginary cap and all that.
I think Dan has to.
We're getting rid of both.
I think Dan has to look at one of them and go, I'll get one of you rid of you this year, the next one next year. One of you can go. You both can't go. Fuck that.
I mean,
Dan say, I gave you a chance, motherfucker. Now you gotta do me a favor. What's Ben Johnson's contract? Are we paying him for multiple years?
He signed it 1 year, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, 1 year? I thought it was a multiple.
Coaches aren't in the salary cap, so we could just throw in the bag.
Right. That's
come on, Sheila.
Who cares? I think if somebody's willing to, I think she is.
She'll say, whatever you want, Dan, whatever you need.
Don't disrespect her.
Yeah.
She has a lot to do with why I do so well.
What? That didn't sound like an older woman?
That's not what she sounds like.
What is she? That sound
bad? It's a little bit what she sounds like.
Come on, what the hell? I think I was a little louder and more boisterous. She's a little softer, but I think the sentiment is still there.
I think you sound like a granny. Is she a granny?
She's definitely got to be a granny. What the hell?
How many children do
She's 60. She's granny age.
What do you know about grannies, man?
George, why are you searching grannies right now?
I'm not. I swear. I'm trying to look up Ben Johnson's contract.
Fair enough. So you think the Vikings kick the shit out of the Rams, Drew, right?
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think the Rams could very well win this game.
I think the Vikings don't bounce back well from this loss, and I think the Rams win.
I kind of think the same thing.
That's the joy. That's the joy of the playoffs, fellas. That's why they got to play the games.
All right. So let's do this. We're not going to do obviously props. Let's do picks. All right. Let's do some picks. So let's do the picks. So Packers, Eagles. Let's do the picks. All right. Packers, Eagles. What do you got, Drew? Who do you got? We're writing this down.
I'll just give out my all three picks.
There you go. Yep.
Dream scenario. So I'm gonna go Packers over Eagles. I'm gonna go.
Is this dream scenario, or is this what you actually think?
I mean, have you seen my betting record? I'm like, it doesn't matter. I could be speaking gibberish, man. I'm fading myself.
Right, let's go.
Cheers.
I'm going Packers over Eagles. I'm going Tampa Bay, and then I'm going Vikes. And I think it's going to be Packers in in divisional round and Vikings in the NFC Championship.
Wait, dude, you're going Packers?
Yeah, so the Packers win.
Vikings. No, I know. I'm just thinking. I'm doing all three opposite you. I'm going Eagles, Commanders, Rams, baby. Woo! Let's go. All right, George, what do you got?
Eagles, Bucks, Rams. NFC North is out. NFC North is out.
What do you mean NFC North is out?
Aside from us, the rest of them.
Fair enough.
Sleep raging, bro.
Hey, you gotta come correct. Well, I think this is kind of like a day of mourning though as well. It was this week. It's they call it Black Monday. You know, the day after the regular season ends, and so there's been some head coaches that were terminated. Least deserving of a termination, I think Jerod Mayo. I mean, that's bullshit. No, dude. Like, one season. What were the Patriots last year?
It was same thing with Antonio Pierce, man. He got let go too. One season.
Yeah. My only issue with Antonio Pierce is he coached like.
Yeah, he was. My thing with the Jerod Mayo is like, I totally think that he was just like let me take a step back. I think that once they found out Drake May was the guy.
You're saying he's a DEI hire?
No, I think that once they found out Drake May was the guy, they realized that their window, like, this is the window, and they want to put their best foot forward. And like, yeah, like you can hold on to Jerod Mayo and hope that he turns out to be a really good coach. He was bad in his first year. He made like a lot of like weird calls and was apparently weird, culture locker room guy. And to have Vrabel sitting out there, which is basically like Vrabel's going to the Patriots. He's in the Patriots Ring of Honor, Hall of Fame, whatever it is. And so
I agree with you.
And Vrabel's proven like good coach.
Okay, I agree with you. But we all thought Vrabel was going to be the head coach once he got terminated by the Titans last year. So why renege on the signing? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Rob Kraft is just like,
so you're telling me the executives who make decisions don't know
anything. Know ball, bro. And Robert Kraft had made this decision years ago that Jerod Mayo is like the next man up. When Belichick eventually was out, and I don't know, dude doesn't know ball.
So Jerod Mayo's out. I don't know if he's definitely gonna feel a way about it. Was he a coordinator prior to that? Do we know? Is he like a defensive coordinator?
Linebackers coach of the Patriots.
Because I'm just wondering, because I do think about the next step as Aaron Glenn goes. Like, what are our options? One of these assistant guys, one of these ex-head coaches, Robert Saleh. Like, what truly is like a legitimate option?
Once they leave, I don't care.
Could you imagine?
Once they leave the Lions, bro, I don't care about them. They want to leave. They want to leave the pride, man. Can't help them.
You want to lead? Fuck them.
Right. It will be that way, unfortunately.
And Ben Johnson goes.
not-
Ben Johnson has been tied to the Bears job. Like,
Let's
If
not
he
put
goes-
the horse before the cart right
If
now.
he goes to the Bears, he's dead to me.
Yeah. Anybody that goes
let's
to the
not
Bears.
put the horse before the cart. That's
Put
what
the
you're
cart
supposed
before
to
the
do.
horse. Whatever the saying is. Not
Who
just
cares?
yet. Not just yet, Drew. That's what I meant. Not just yet. Let's not
Not
start
so
getting our
fast,
chickens.
my friend. He's doing the Lee Corso.
He said, "Wait, they don't." Never mind.
It hasn't happened. And what is this a good time for them to be interviewing? You think?
They don't interview yet. That's
Yeah, they do.
disrespectful.
Yes, they do. What do you mean?
Ben
Not our
Johnson's got a
coaches.
week off, bro.
If Ben Johnson is fucking interviewing, he's dead to me.
Pretty sure he was interviewing last year before the Niners game.
He's dead to me. That's why we lost.
No, stop that.
That's why Gibbs fumbled.
You
and they were
saw why
dropping
we
his passes.
lost, bro. Come on, don't play dumb all of a sudden. You
It's your
watch
boy,
that game.
Vildor.
Nah, I don't blame it on Vildor.
No, it's not all on Vildor.
It's
There's a
on the
lot of
offense.
mistakes that
On
if
the
they
offense.
didn't happen, GG.
What other coaches? So, did the Jaguars coach get fired? Did he? Let me see.
Yes, he did.
Did he actually? They kept him around. I like that. I like that
They literally kept him around all season just to let him go. I can't think of his name right now.
Wow.
He won a Super Bowl winning head coach.
The Eagles guy?
Yeah. What's his name? I can't think of his name right now.
Shitty. Fired.
I want to say Chip Kelly, but it's not Chip Kelly.
No.
Where's
Chip
Jim when
Kelly's
you
at
need him?
Chip Kelly at Ohio State? He's the Ohio State offensive coordinator.
Doug,
Chip Kelly.
it's Doug.
Martin.
Chip Kelly?
He's the Ohio State offensive coordinator. Chip Kelly. The old Oregon coach. Eagles coach.
Am I crazy?
Well, I can't think of this guy's name. Whatever.
Oh, he is?
Yeah. Dude, so I actually looked up
I have not
head
been
coach-
watching
Doug
college.
Head coach.
Peterson. Doug Peterson.
Doug Peterson. I looked up NFL head coach, GM firing, interviews, all the latest 6 hours ago. The first thing, Ben Johnson's interview list: Bears, Patriots, Jags, Raiders.
I feel like there's 3 jobs that stand above the rest, and it's all the quarterbacks. Like, as a head coach, you want to go somewhere with a quarterback, and I think
I'm going Jags.
In order, I think it goes Patriots, Bears, Jags. The thing about the Jags, man, is they kept their GM, who's hired 6 head coaches in his tenure. And everything I've read is that he's absolute cancerous, and so you got to be looking at it and be like,
What about the Bears GM? You think he's good?
Ryan Poles? I kind of think Ryan Poles is like, I don't know. I don't think he's great, but I think he's made some smart moves.
Ask a Bears fan what he thinks about that.
I mean,
They
he orchestrated the trade with the Panthers.
For what? To get rid of a quarterback who is better than Caleb Williams?
What?
Justin Fields?
That was a different trade.
No, I know, but what was the end result? You get rid of Justin Fields to go get Caleb Williams.
I don't know. I still think that Caleb Williams could be a decent. He can be better than a backup. He could be a starting quarterback.
Wait, you're that much? I mean, I don't love Caleb Williams, but I wouldn't say he's a complete.
Well, I think it's
bust.
early, man. He
was the worst rookie
Imagine
starter.
give Ben Johnson to like.
Dude, what have we?
Okay, and what if you do and he's shit?
Yeah, I mean, then that's the risk you take. Like
Bryce Young did fine. Bryce Young is fine.
Trevor Lawrence
you
looked
know-
terrible. Like, all I'm arguing is that.
No. Don't compare Bryce Young to fucking Caleb Williams. Bryce Young legitimately went to the worst absolute team possible. Caleb Williams came into one of the best situations any rookie quarterback had ever come to in the history of the NFL. So don't even start that.
I
I'm
don't
not
wanna
defending
defend him.
Caleb. I'm not defending Caleb Williams. All I'm saying is that it's the Bears situation, I think, in my opinion,
Right.
is better situation than Jaguars.
If the GM is shitty, fair. If your boss is a horrible person to work for, then I agree. What about the Raiders then? What about the Raiders with Tom Brady and
Deion and Shador written all over it? I don't know.
Deion already said he's not going to the NFL. He's not.
That's actually the Tom Brady thing too.
It's got Shador, bro.
You think so? I mean, is Shador gonna be great? I don't watch much college football. Is he gonna be great?
I think Cam Ward is gonna be better for sure. But I think he'll be the next best.
Well, what's his name? Play both ways, you think?
Travis Hunter?
No.
Travis Hunter?
He'll do a few plays here and there, but no, bro. No. There's no way.
We'll see.
There's no way.
Well, the
Titans got the first overall pick.
Bro, he wouldn't play both ways if he played in the Big Ten or SEC. No chance.
You'd be tough with meetings. I don't know how they do the meetings. Even in college, maybe it's doable, but like, how do you do those?
Because receivers don't do shit like for 70% of the plays.
I think you just played defense. You're just fucking. You're just looking at you. You're looking over there, hater. He's a wide receiver hater.
Half the time they're just practicing their first down celebrations, bro.
Right, exactly, or touchdown celebrations.
That's after practice.
No, but I mean, Ben Johnson scheduled to interview with Patriots Friday. So this is actually pretty interesting. So Chris Spielman, interviewing with the Jets for the potential GM position. Chris Spielman was integral. Was integral. Jesus.
Integral.
And having Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes come to Detroit.
Special advisor.
So, why the fuck is everybody jumping shit when we're winning?
Bro, that's life at the top, man.
Well, whatever.
Do you think who would you take as a defensive coordinator? Who would you want?
I don't even want to talk about this. This is off-season talk.
Yeah, no, this is off-season. We'll put a fork in it, but just know that the coaches are interviewing. Coaches have been fired, and they are headhunting for Detroit staff members. So, it is what it is. It is what it is.
Please, Ben Johnson, stay. You guys
have any other topics you want to talk about during this this amazing bye week?
It's exciting. It's a free win, man. It's like we don't get this. It's literally we get to sit back, and it's basically like our team won. We advanced to the second round, knowing we got a home matchup.
I agree.
I don't like that they're Saturday games. Don't like that. Annoying.
Why?
Because I want to watch them. I
want more days with football. What's wrong with you?
Wait,
I want to do it on Saturday.
Wait, what do you mean?
On Sunday Red Zone? I'm good.
No, you gotta they have standalone games.
That's the most casual thing I think I've ever heard. Don't like watching football games. You like just watching highlights.
Saturday though. Saturdays are special.
Saturdays are for the boys.
What are you doing on Saturdays?
Not usually watching football. I don't watch college football, so not watching football.
Crazy.
That shit.
I already said that in the episode. I don't watch college football.
That's crazy. My man works for a college football team. Doesn't watch college football.
My team doesn't play on Saturdays, Drew. Thanks to the NCAA.
Action, baby.
So go fuck yourself. I get plenty of football, but Saturday, I mean, what am I going to sit here? Root for a team I didn't go to?
It's playoffs, bro. Come on, bro. It's playoffs.
It's literally the playoffs.
Watch it Saturday. You're going to get to watch the Ravens Steelers.
It's 2 games, man.
No, of course I'm going to watch, but I'm just like, damn, I gotta plan around that. I got to plan around that. Not everybody in the world is watching football on Saturdays.
Wait a second. What are you talking about?
That is what people do on Saturday.
Everyone in America is going to be watching the NFL games on Saturday.
Yeah.
Okay.
They are kind of booty games. I'm pretty sure it's Chargers.
Not everybody I associate with watches football entirely. So
why do you associate with them?
That's crazy, man.
Oh my gosh, what are we getting at? I do other things other than football, and I love Sundays were sacred with football.
And that's a perfect way to end this episode, fellas.
Ain't the one.
Everybody, thank you for listening to episode 35. It's been a wild ride, and we're going to keep it rolling throughout the playoffs. Follow us on all the social media. Comment, share, subscribe, post, love, like. You guys, let's go Lions.
Go Lions.
Remember your first love. Football.
This is the Lions Main Podcast.